Governor. Thank you. Thank you, Governor. I'll hold it real close here.
How's it going?
Very good.
You guys did a lot of work. Thank you very much.
So Aaron Fuego. All right. Can we give you the message then, anyway, huh?
Petition.
All right.
Do I gotta write it down?
No. I'm going to give you
have a
two
copy?
flyers. This is the one we've circulated on the protest.
Yeah.
Okay.
And here's just another fact sheet on the DU
Okay.
issue. But basically, the point, when I talked to Aaron a month or two ago about the uranium showing up in some people's urine, he said, I'm going to see Gary Gill next month. Next month, I'll talk to him about it. Just when I heard those words, next month, I felt insulted by it. When uranium is showing up in people's urine, and he was going to talk to Gary next month about it. You know, the health department's been dragging it so coldly now for years here. In 2008, the county council passed a resolution 8-1 that called for a halt to all the live fire at Wakulla and 7 other action points because the area is contaminated with DU and they're bombing it. And the health department should be joining in that call to halt the bombing, right? That's the first thing. And there should be comprehensive testing and monitoring taking place up there. And the health department should be testing more people for uranium in the urine. Workers at Wakulla, people that travel the Saddle Road regularly. A lot of us have protested up there on numerous occasions. We should be tested too. So these are just some of the points. Now another point I want to give you is the health department should be asking the military this question. Besides the old Davy Crockett round, which they acknowledge, yeah, here's a list of 16 other DU weapons. Have they been used up there? And this is not an exhaustive list by any means, but if you better, it comes from the health department. The health department should be the advocate, not Terry Hill's latest email said they were going to watch closely what the NRC does. That's not good enough. The health department should be on this meeting with the NRC on the 12th, a week from today, right? It's a week from today, by phone. And they should be calling for the NRC to stop all the bombing up there. They should be calling for the NRC to check the people's urine and everything. Health department's got to become an advocate, not a person standing on the sidelines. That's my concern. So that's why we're down here protesting, that the health department hasn't been doing its job.
It's showing up in people's urine. What are you folks going to do about it? You're supposed to be protecting our health.
So maybe other people, have concerns they can share. But I think it's serious. 3 MDs and a naturopath go out there here in Hilo have patients with uranium in the urine. Now, what's the cause of it? It could be Wakulla, it could be something else too. One of the MDs said he has a cluster of patients. So something's got to be done on this. And it was the peace groups. I'm a farmer, and we detected radiation with our own monitors up at Mauna Kea State Park, which I call Uranium Park now. Because we were there on May 29th of 2007. We had several monitors, and we picked up with winds strong coming off the base with dust devils in there. We picked up several readings with 4 to 5 times the background level, 5 to 20 counts per minute. We picked up to 100 counts per minute there. And we knew something was coming off the base. It was 3 months after that the Army officially acknowledged they had used DU rounds about 1.5 miles from Mauna Kea Park. But the health department could be testing that worker who lives at Mauna Kea Park.
Oh, the state, the DNR worker.
Yeah, test him for uranium in his urine. There's a lot of civilians that work at Wakulla, endangered species and other things, cultural monitors. Offer them free tests. Let's see what's going on. But that's why we're here to say, hey, we got to turn the heat up on the health department.
Okay, I'll pass this on to Aaron.
And to Gary
and Jeff Ecker from the radiation branch.
Yeah, and Barbara Brooks, who's the epidemiologist who's supposed to be checking it out, but I don't have much confidence in her either, to tell you the truth. So I've known Gary Gill since he was in high school.
Yeah,
I used to talk to his class at Roosevelt. In fact, he formed this young group of students for peace. So I have big hopes, Gary, getting in the health department here. So, I mean, I expect better from him. So not just to be observing what the NRC is doing. He should be an advocate for us. He's the head man, deputy director, right?
Deputy director of
So
environmental.
tell him he should be the one advocating for it, not just standing on the sidelines.
Okay.
But it would also help if you folks down here in the trenches also, agitated upwards and said, look, we're gonna be taking some heat, because we're gonna try and turn up the heat here. I don't know how your souls are feeling, but hopefully it's getting hot.
The other issue, the health department ought to be going to the AG's office. Disposing of radiation violates the Constitution here. Here's quoting the Constitution of the state of Hawaii. In 1978, they can't dispose of radioactive material without a 2/3 vote of both houses of the legislature. Now, the military says they use several hundred rounds at a minimum of the Davy Crockett, possibly over 2,000 spotting rounds. They can only account for a few pieces. So if they can't account for it, then it's disposed of. And that's a violation of the state constitution. So, the health department should be contacting the DLNR and the governor and AG's office and looking into this thing. But what it is nobody's doing anything on this stuff. And I would go further, that health department should be recommended to DLNR cancel the lease of tens of thousands of acres of state land up there at Puakaloa. Nothing in the lease allowed radioactive contamination. And the parallel issue is, around the same time they did this Davy Crockett stuff up there in the 60s, they got a lease, the Army did, from the state, on Steinbach Highway, to do what they told the state was going to be weather testing. They lied. You know what they were doing instead of weather testing? They're testing sarin nerve gas and other chemical biological weapons. When Katsu Mink disclosed it, Shunichi Kimura was mayor, and he said, cancel the lease. And they canceled the lease there at Steinbach, because it was supposed to be weather testing, not testing chemical biological weapons in Hilo's watershed. So if they canceled the lease for the chemical biological weapons, why not cancel the lease for the radiation weapons? They had no authority to do that. It's a violation of the state constitution. But there are the things that the health department, to me, should be advocating, raising. Maybe people have other concerns.
But the Davy Crockett was in the 60s, right?
Yeah.
And you already, you told them about that a long time ago, right? So I think the problem is right now you have so much the ammunition all using DU. So if people had gotten on it at that time, then they would have protected the public now. But right now, even the military doctor themselves, right? Roki is saying all of the things that are in the DU and are being used right now. I think the health department gotta get help to protect the people and check on it.
Really, somebody does.
To be bombing a base that you know is contaminated with radiation is nuts. You don't know where it is. You don't know how much is up there, because they don't want to look, because they might find something, right? So, but to bomb it is nuts. And to have the health department sitting by silently for years and years on this.
You should advocate for everybody to get testing, and it should be,
Shut
in
'em
newspapers, you guys should be buying ads in the newspapers saying test,
And
because
stop
we
the
have a
bombing.
DU problem.
Stop the bombing, that's the key.
Well, especially the young people, it's going inside, they're breathing it in, right? It's all in the air now.
The thing that we learned about DU is different than just our natural uranium. When uranium is burned, this is Dr. Lauren Pang telling us.
From Maui.
Yeah, you know him as a 20-year Army medical, right?
Yes.
He said when uranium, the DU is burned, it turns into little Christmas balls, he described it. They're oxide particles, they're hollow, and can be easily inhaled. They're submicron particles. And inhaled, and then it can get into the lymph system and stays in the body. There'll be some uranium is excreted a fairly short time after exposure through the urine. The rest of it stays in the body. It's not soluble. So that's the thing about the uranium oxide, the DU. When it's burned, when it's hit with high explosives and all. We're talking about very small submicron particles, easily carried by the winds all over this island. The more traffic at Saddle Road, the more on the vehicles, just like the coqui frogs. You transport it all around the island. So it's a nightmare. But the resolution passed by the county council in
August
oh wait, that's 4.5 years ago, that said not only live fire, but anything that creates dust. So any kind of maneuver, it's a dry area, anything that creates dust is not transported. So all of that stuff's gotta be stopped up there.
Unborn children, new babies.
So we want to see some action, or else we're going to have to mobilize more and more people. And who knows, maybe it'll be civil disobedience. But we wanna see the action.
Is the Girl Scout camp still up there?
I hope they close that place
Is
down.
it still being used?
It's still there, I don't know if it's being used though.
Here you have a Girl Scout camp in the midst of a radiation.
Yeah, you're talking about young people most susceptible to inhaling that, right?
Because I would like the health department to know that we're advocating for the keiki and that their little bodies are so vulnerable and that they deserve a healthy future and that everyone here could be instrumental in helping assure that and to not just think of your position as a job, but really that you're here to help the people. And we're counting on you and watching you and we need you. The children need you. Please.
Yeah, what good is the health department doing if they're not, I mean, we've got, in people's urine, you've got depleted uranium, and you're not doing anything about it? You know, you guys may as well close up shop if you're not even gonna protect us from the depleted uranium. I mean, you have responsibilities. Don't be afraid of the military. Somebody's gotta protect us.
Well, we'll be
Where's
behind
the civilian control over the military?
We're giving you an opportunity to do the right thing, you know, and you'll have peace of mind for it.
Well, where's Gary Gill? I'm really disappointed in him.
Yeah, Governor, get after him. He's your subordinate. Huh?
Yeah, how about it, Neil? Thing, you're
You
very
did.
eloquent, knowledgeable in what we're saying here. I couldn't add much more to that, but I think there has to be a general education program of the effects of this depleted uranium on the populace, everyone, you know, and visitors included. But this thing goes out of proportion, and how? Well, you know, where's the tourist industry? If people know you're going to come here and you have a possibility of getting contaminated with uranium, that's not a healthy thing, right? So anyway, it's a situation that should definitely fall right into your kuleana.
One would think.
Right from the governor's
Do
mouth.
your
Right
job.
But right now is the timing is
We have it on
crucial
paper,
because the
Neil?
military is asking for waiver, right?
One more.
So you know what this meeting on the
Right
12th
now.
is?
More and more expensive.
With the
Don't
NRC
be
on the
afraid to
12th.
shut them down.
It's
We need-
illegal.
It should be
Maryland.
in
Oh, it's in Maryland.
We're
Oh,
discussing about
Yeah.
whether the military should have a license to possess
Oh.
DU.
it was in the Tribune Herald?
That's
Yeah,
right, that's
okay, I
right.
the meeting's
remember
in Maryland. We
That's
said,
in Maryland, it's not here, yeah?
The last time they had a meeting, they scheduled it for 3 a.m. Hawaii time. So I had to get up at 2:30 to talk on the, how insulting is that?
Yeah.
But the meeting should be here, but it's not. But the Army's saying, we don't need a license. But if you're gonna make us have a license, make sure that it has no requirements and no obligations for us. Now, what kind of a license is that? Huh? But that's why the health department,
Why?
if nobody
That's
else
your
is
role.
speaking up for the people about,
Let us know you're
stopping all
shutting
live
down.
fire. And the first thing about it. And comprehensive independent testing and monitoring to determine the full extent of the contamination up there. Testing lots of people's urine that work there, that travel the Saddle Road, people who frequented the area. Let's see what the issue is. If it's related to Pauca law or if it's some other cause. But the fact that now 3 MDs and a naturopathic patients, one MD with a cluster of patients here in Hill, we gotta find out what the cause of that uranium in the urine is. Huh? So, we gotta see some
Please,
action.
do your job.
So please, stress the urgency of this. I'm gonna be on that phone on the 12th, and I better hear Gary Gill or somebody advocating from the health department on that call, huh? All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
How old are you, Ed?
Thank you. Mahalo.
Thank you for the information.
We look forward to supporting you and advocating for us in this.
Let Aaron know, okay?
Okay, I'll let
Get the
Aaron
ball
know.
going.
Thank you.
Okay, have a good day.
My email's on the bottom of those 2 sheets, huh? That's my email, there's our website, phone number, everything.
Okay.
So,
Okay,
Did you
Jim.
tell him that the Army wants to be exempt from all environmental oversight? They're asking.
Thank you,
to
Governor.
be
Thank
Well,
exempt.
they don't want any license.
So they don't want to be subject to the rules.
You're not
of
only the
rest of
chairman, but you're also the
entities.
doorman.
And they need to play fair. Thank you, and happy holidays. Aloha.
Look, somebody's gotta hold these guys accountable. You know, what good is the health department if they're not gonna protect the community?
Well put.
You know, you guys may as well all resign from your jobs if you're not gonna be advocates for the community. Somebody has to protect the community.
Okay,
I mean, the military doesn't give a damn.
Happy holidays to you.
Thank you.
Aloha.
You can speak from the wall, the top of the wall. Your subjects will get below.
I'm gonna go, well,
Let's listen to the governor first and the group. Okay, Governor.
here are my masses.
Come on, we need a critical mass here. Come on, uranium people. We don't want to be depleted. Come here.
Because Wani and I were driving along and there was this big fog, this big cloud, and I thought it was fog, right? But no, I asked some people on the road and they said no, that was smoke that had been blown down from Pahakalolo. So, you know, so we went through that and then I said, where are we? Right? The smoke kind of affected. I wasn't sure where we were and why we were coming here. I'd forgotten temporarily. But the thing is, Pahakalolo is a site that maybe they should not be training our young people in such an environment. You know, the Army. The Army has to be alert. You know, Pahakalolo, if you happen to go high up into that mountain, you forget why you're there. You might want to relax, and you're supposed to be having some kind of practice in war. So you got. So I was thinking, my connections in Washington after all these years.
New day.
With a new day, maybe we should send the Army to Washington, the state of Washington. They're making arrangements to deal with Pahakalolo smoke, and Colorado, the same, right? So. Back to the main theme here of the uranium. Jim was very eloquent and addressed it perfectly. I think marvelous. Thank you, Jim. Very well done. And all of you, thank you for being here. And sometimes we got to give. It's a good Hawaiian word. It's makeaka, which means humor. To make a little, to throw a little humor into the situation, right?
More,
So,